Good morning students. In this module we will learn about agriculture in India. So first we will define the term agriculture, a systematic practice of tilling and cultivation on soil, raising crops, rearing animals and practicing fishing is jointly called agriculture. So here you can see in the definition that agriculture is not limited only of growing crops, but it also involves rearing of animals, practicing fishing and so on. The term agriculture has been derived from two Latin words, ager meaning land and culture meaning cultivation. We are living in the industrial age, but still half of the world's population is directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture. So this is basically because we need food crops. The population, the growing population of the world need food crops, and the demand of agricultural crop is never going to die. Therefore, agriculture is very important sector in any country and is very important. In India, 70% of population depends upon agriculture, as agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy and we get a lot of national revenue from agriculture. About 50% of the national income comes from agriculture and its allied activities like from fisheries, from poultry, from animal farms and so on. Agriculture is also a consumer of many industrial products. So students, till today we had an idea that agricultural crops are raw material for different industries. But here I would like to stress that even industrial products are in demand in agricultural sector, like the tractors, harvesters, chemical fertilizers and pesticides. They are required by farmers and are in huge demand. Many agricultural products are exported, and when we export these products, we earn a lot of foreign exchange, that is foreign currency. And like this, trade and commerce is encouraged and boosted. So the important agricultural crops are tea, coffee, jute, cotton and many more. They are exported to earn foreign exchange. Now let's move to the characteristics of Indian agriculture. The first one is agriculture in India depends on monsoon rainfall. Definitely, monsoon is a very important season in India and we depend on the rain during monsoon to grow crops in India, which is uncertain. So monsoon is uncertain, irregular and unevenly distributed. This means rainfall sometimes get delayed and sometimes rainfall is less, or it can be even more and causes flood, and it is not evenly distributed throughout the country. So this is a very big problem, a big challenge to the Indian farmers. So they have to face this uncertainty of monsoon rainfall, and sometimes there is crop failure and huge loss to the farmer, and therefore it also affects the production of food crops in the country. Large size of the country, varied climatic condition and soil enable Indians to grow great variety of crops. So students, from tropical to temperate, different types of crops we can grow in India. From rice, wheat, sugarcane, maize, barley and so on. There is a long list of crops, cash crops and food crops. Both we can grow in India because we have a variety of climatic condition, variety of soil and varied conditions of growing crops. India is one of the leading producer of many crops like rice, wheat, sugarcane, tea, coffee and cotton. So like this, in India we grow great variety of crops. Both tropical and temperate crops are grown in the country. More emphasis is on growing food crops to feed the increasing population. So just now we discussed, to support the growing population we need more of food crops. Subsistence agriculture is mostly practiced. Crops are grown by family for their own consumption. Now children, what do you mean by subsistence agriculture? It means agriculture for survival. So here in India, mostly small plot of land is there where farmers, they grow their crop, and mostly they grow to feed themselves and their family. They sell very less in the market because the production is not very high. These farmers are very poor, they are not well equipped, they don't have modern technology, so they lack in all this, and therefore production is low. So mostly subsistence agriculture can be seen all over the country, but there are other types of agriculture too, and the government nowadays is doing a lot to develop agriculture and is trying to help the farmers in various ways. We'll learn further. There are different types of crops grown in different seasons in India. First one is Kharif, grown between mid-June to October. Main crops, rice, maize and cotton. Rabi is the next crop season from November to April, and the main crops are wheat, gram, tobacco, mustard, etc. And the next one is Zaid. This is an extra crop that is grown in April and May, and you will notice here the main like crops grown are basically seasonal fruits and vegetables. This gives extra income to the farmers, and that's why they are grown. Now, what are the problems that the farmers of India face? Let's start. Excessive pressure of population on land. So the population, you know, India is the second most populated country in the world. So our population is too high and the land availability is comparatively less. Though we are trying hard to maintain the stability, but still struggling to find a balance. Unreliable rainfall. As we discussed earlier, monsoon rainfall is uncertain, unreliable. It often delays, it can come early. So this creates a lot of problem to the farmers, and most of the time there is a problem of crop failure and huge loss to the farmers. Small land holdings. In India, the land where farming is done, the holdings are very small. Small plots of land are there. So in small plots, high production is not possible. And farmers are mostly poor, so they mainly grow crops for themselves and their family, and they can barely afford to grow for the market. So the demand of the food crop from the population outside is not fulfilled. Low productivity. Low productivity is due to lack in technology, lack of education. That is, the farmers are unaware of the modern technology, modern methods, scientific machines. They don't know, they are not aware, and this lack of awareness has led to low productivity. Poor techniques of production. As we discussed now, the technology is not as developed and it has not reached the farmers of India. Very few farmers have got the technology, they can afford it, and they are using to grow huge crops. The productivity is more, but most of the farmers are still unaware and they lack in technology. Lack of mechanized farming. As I told you children, the farmers in India, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are still very poor and they cannot afford modern machines that can be used in the farms. And very importantly, I would like to mention that the land is so small, the farming plots are so small that most of the machines cannot be even used in such plots. So it is useless to buy them and put in the field. So the farmers mostly they do it manually with the help of their family members. They plow the field, they put the seed, the harvesting and all is done by the farmer and the family. The last point is of finance. So there is also problem of finance. As I told you, farmers are poor because they depend on rainfall. So when there is a crop failure, they cannot earn profit. Moreover, they are often overburdened by the debt. So they have to borrow money and they are often in debt. So how can they not have the problem of finance? However, the government in recent 5-year plans have given more emphasis on the agriculture and rural development. So this is a very good step taken by the government. The government is taking now more initiative towards helping the farmers, towards training them, towards equipping them so that they can get equipments and they can even get loan. And you know what, even the government is giving subsidies also. The government is lowering the price of the tractors, harvesters, the modern machines so that the farmers can afford them. Better credit facilities, free educational programs are also provided to the farmers. But the progress is very slow. Definitely such a huge country, huge population, so many farmers. So it will take time for the development, and therefore though the progress is slow, it is still there. So the hope is there. The other steps taken by the government, the Agriculture Rice Commission has been set up, which controls the prices of the agricultural products and purchase of certain crops at fair price to protect the farmers from exploitation. So this is a very good step. When the farmers produce crop, often they have to face the problem that they have to sell it at low price. So now Agriculture Price Commission has been set up so that the farmers can be saved from being exploited. The government also promotes availability of good seed. The government is providing good seeds at lower price or sometimes free of cost so that the farmers can use them and can increase the productivity. The government is providing loans for buying farm equipments. NABARD is a special bank which provide loan to the farmers. So NABARD is a special bank meant for the farmers and dedicated to the agricultural and allied sectors. Subsidies on fertilizer, free electricity to the farmer, supplying HYV, high yielding variety seeds, is guaranteed to the farmers. So all these are being provided by the government so that the agricultural sector can be improved, productivity can be increased, and the farmers can become self-dependent. Now students, a very big revolution was witnessed in India in like early years when we got independence. So during that time, productivity in agricultural field was very low. The farmers were in a very poor condition. So here started a revolution known as Green Revolution. So it was first, this term was used by William G. Gant, and in India, seeds of Green Revolution were first field tested and in the drought years of 1964 and 65. So here I would like to explain that Green Revolution happened in India, especially in few states of India, where experiment was done with a new variety of seed which was known as high yielding variety, HYV seed. This means these seeds were used to grow quickly, and they in this the production was very high. Machines were used in the field, so agriculture was highly mechanized. Means of irrigation was used, manures were, pesticides and insecticides were used in the field to increase the productivity. This phase in India where productivity increased many times is known as Green Revolution. And this term was given first by William G. Gant, and first time it was tested in India during the drought years of 1964-65. Dr. Bolog introduced them to the Indian scientists. So the high yielding variety seeds were introduced to the Indian scientists in 1963, who discovered later a new drop variety of wheat seed. So you know what, mostly the production of wheat increased during Green Revolution. A new drop variety of seed was discovered, and this seed used to grow very fast and the production was very high. The yield of the new variety was 4 times. So we can see here the production increased by 4 times. So it was 4 times more production than the local varieties. Green Revolution has been remarkable in the states of Punjab, Haryana and UP. So students, the Green Revolution was witnessed to its highest peak in the states of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. In India, the Green Revolution began in mid-1960s, marking a transition from traditional agriculture in India and the introduction of high-yielding variety of seeds and the associated agricultural techniques. So just now we discussed that in this Green Revolution, the farming was mechanized, it was modernized, and it was on scientific methods. So like this, production was increased up to 4 times. This was a remarkable progress in the field of agriculture. Green Revolution in India refers to the period when Indian agriculture was converted into industrial system. So see the word, it became commercial due to the adoption of modern methods and technology such as the use of high yield variety seed, tractors, irrigation facility, pesticides and fertilizers. It was mainly found by M.S. Swaminathan in India. So all the credit of Green Revolution goes to the Indian is Mr. M.S. Swaminathan. So what are the measures adopted in Green Revolution? Measures adopted by Intensive Agricultural Development, IADP, are use of high yielding variety of seeds. We call them HYV seeds. They grow very fast. Irrigation facilities were used, use of chemical fertilizers, use of insecticides and pesticides to kill the pest and insect that might cause harm to the crops. Land reforms were conducted, like consolidation of fragmented land holdings. This was a very big step. Small land holdings were joined together and it was made a bigger plot so that production can be increased. So this is very important. It really helped in increasing the production. Improved the rural infrastructure. The infrastructure of the rural areas, the villages were improved so that the farmers can be encouraged to increase the production. Opening of agricultural universities. So this was again a very big step. Agricultural universities were opened so that students can learn more and research work can be conducted for further improvement in the field of agriculture. See the fields were made large under Green Revolution. That was IADP. It was a program, it is under Green Revolution. So small fields were consolidated to make it large. Mechanized machines were used. Now see, you can see the sprinklers are used to water the field. Increase the production, increase. You can see such a big huge field. The tractors, harvesters are harvesting the crops from the field. So like this, Green Revolution boosted and developed and increased agricultural production by several times. What were the result or consequences of Green Revolution? India is now in a position to grow surplus food crops such as rice and wheat and also able to export many cash crops. So after Green Revolution, India got a boost and now India can even export. It is in a position in which India is now positioned to grow a lot of crops and even export them to other countries. So it's a big development. The complete modernization, India after Green Revolution is described as one of the most amazing agricultural stories of the time. So this is a credit goes to our country that during that time this agricultural development in India is one of the most amazing stories. It has been quoted by someone and it's very relevant that yes, India progressed and we are to the way of becoming self-dependent, that we can grow crops and even we can sell to others. So this is a big development. There was a drastic increase in percentage of food production, and in fact Green Revolution has been a grain revolution. So very rightly said, the Green Revolution has been a grain revolution. So that's all in today's module, students. We have learnt about the agriculture, the scenario of agriculture in India, the problems we face, the steps that the government has taken for the development in this sector, and we also learnt about Green Revolution and the consequences, that how India moved towards the path and progressed to become self-dependent.